brought before Judge Callahan. He gave suspended sentences for manufacturing fireworks without a permit.
Yeah, kept me in the same cell with that stripteaser from the burlesque show.
I was in the cell with Mr. Kirby. My, he was mad.
Mrs. Kirby and the stripteaser were fighting all night.
A whole lot about Mr. Kirby in here. Anthony W. Kirby, head of Kirby Company, 62 Wall Street, who was among those apprehended, declared that he was in no way interested in the manufacture of fireworks, but refused to state why he was on the premises. Time 3. Mr. Kirby is a member of the Union Club, the Racket Club, the Harvard Club, and the National Geographic Society. My, he certainly is a joiner.
All these are Turner Elks or something.
I suppose after all this, Mr. Tony ain't ever going to marry Miss Alice, huh?
No. It's too bad, too. She sure loved that boy. But I don't know what I'm going to do with all this food out in the kitchen. There isn't going to be a party tonight, that's for sure.
Like, we gonna eat it anyhow?
I mean, I'm cooking it. I don't think anyone's going to have an appetite.
I'm hungry.
No, they're not. They're also broke up about Miss Alice.
What's she going away for? Where's she going?
I don't know, mountain someplace. She's going alright, no matter what they say. I know Miss Alice when she gets that one right.
Too bad, ain't it?
Sure is.
Not even a balloon left, look!
How's your hand, Mr. Tina? Is it doing better?
Yes, it's better. Is there some more olive oil in there?
It's in the salad bowl.
Thanks.
Well, she's going. Nothing anybody said could change her.
She isn't going away for long. Is she, Mrs. Sycamore?
I don't know, Reba. She won't say.
You're gonna be lonesome around here without her.
How do you feel, Miss Sycamore?
I'm all right, Donald. I'm just a little upset, but perhaps if I do some work, I'll feel better.
Alright, well, I won't bother you then, Miss Sycamore.
She's going, Penny.
Yes.
No, Penny.
I can't help it, Paul. Somehow I feel it's all our fault.
It's mine more than yours. I've just been going along all this time, enjoying myself, and maybe I should be thinking about Alice.
No, don't say that, Paul. You've been a wonderful father and a wonderful husband, too.
No, I haven't. Maybe I should have just become an architect. I don't know. Something she could have been proud of. I was thinking that all last night when you was
But we've been so happy, Paul.
I know. But maybe that's not enough. I used to think it was, and I'm just all mixed up inside.
What time is she going?
The train leaves 11:30.
Well, you know, if only she talked to Tony, I'm sure he could persuade her.
But she won't. He's been trying all day.
Well, where is he now?
Probably circling the block
Well, you
again.
know, maybe he could catch her on the way out, and then he could touch her.
It
And
won't help.
I don't suppose so. Oh well, Grandpa.
Oh, Penny, let the girl alone.
But Grandpa.
Suppose she goes to the Adirondacks. She'll be back. You can take just so much Adirondacks, then you come home.
It's just all so terrible. Grandpa.
In a way, but it has its bright side, too.
How do you mean?
Well, did you notice Mr. Kirby's face when he was getting escorted into that patrol wagon? And the expression on his face when he and Donald had to take a bath together? Now, those are things I am never going to forget, even if I live to be 100. And I warn you people, I intend to. If I can have things like that,
It was even worse with Mrs. Kirby. There was a burlesque dancer there, and she kept singing a strip song on Mrs. Kirby.
I'll bet you Bar Harbor is going to seem pretty dull to the Kirbys this summer. Need any help, Alice?
No, Grandpa. I'm just going to press these. Alice.
And now, Penny.
I'll bring the big bag down as soon as you're ready, Alice.
Thank you. Oh, I got some candy for the train, Alice.
No, Essie.
You know, Alice, you know, you
told me, but I forgot.
I wish I didn't live in a family that always forgets everything. That behaves the way other people's families do. I'm sick of cornflakes and Donald and everything. Why can't we be like other people? Roast beef and 2 green vegetables and doilies on the table, a place you could take your friends to without.
I'll go see if I can do anything.
Alice! Tony, talk to her. She's in the kitchen.
Thank you. Alice, won't you listen to me?
Tony, it is no use. I'm not.
You're not being fair. At least let me talk to you.
Where'd they go?
Upstairs.
She walked in at the minute he came in.
Oh, well, great. I with my hand, too. Well, thank you, fish.
Oh, how are you feeling, Mr. McKinney? Your hand's still hurting you.
No, it's better.
Everything burned up downstairs, huh?
Everything. And my rooming costume, too.
Told you there was a right side to everything. Everything except my 23 years back income tax. I get another letter every day.
Let's see, what are you going to do about that, Grandpa?
Well, I had a kind of idea yesterday. It may not work, but I'm trying it anyhow.
What is it?
So I'm gonna write.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Mr. Kaleko.
Pardon me, the door was open.
That's all right. Come right in.
You will excuse me coming today. I realize that you are all upset.
I don't feel up to the lesson today, Mr. Klinkoff. I just don't feel like it.
Well,
But do stay to dinner at Mr. Kolnikov. We've got all that food. Somebody's got to eat it.
I'd be delighted to, Madam Sycamore.
Fine.
Now, I was wondering if I know you all well enough to ask of you a great favor.
Of course, Mr. Kolnikov.
You, of course, heard me talk about the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina. Well, today she is a waitress at Child's Restaurant, and today is not only her only day off, Thursday, but it is also the anniversary of Peter the Great, a remarkable man.
Why, Mr. Kolnikov, if you mean that you'd like us to have the Grand Duchess to dinner, why, we'd be honored.
Oh, yes.
Well, in the name of the Grand Duchess, I think.
Oh, wonderful! What time is she coming?
Oh, she's outside waiting in the street.
What?
I bring her.
Okay, just right. Is any your?
May I present the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina? Grand Duchess, allow me to present Madam Sycamore. Madam Carmichael. Grandpa.
Madame.
Mr. Sycamore, Mr. Carmichael, and Mr. Pete. All right.
If you do sit down, Your Highness. Thank you. I am most happy to be here. How soon is dinner? Well, it will be very soon. Very soon, Your Highness. I do not mean to be rude, but I must be back at the restaurant by 8 o'clock. I am substituting for another waitress.
Don't worry, Grand Duchess. I will make sure you're on time.
Thank you, Kolnikov.
You know, Your Highness, I think you waited off me. The child wants the 72nd Street place.
No, that is my sister.
The Grand Duchess Natasha.
I work in Times Square.
Quite a lot of your folks live around here now, aren't there?
Ah, yes, Macy. My uncle, the Grand Duke Sergei, he is elevator man at Macy's. A very nice man. Then there's my cousin, the Prince Alexis. He will not speak to the rest of us because he works at Economies. He is a lady's underwear.
When he was selling hot dogs at Coney Island, he was willing to speak to us.
Ah, Kolnikov, our time is coming. My sister Natasha studies to be manicurist. Uncle Sergei, they promised to make floor walker. And next month, I move to Fifth Avenue in Childs. From there, there's only a few steps to shops, and then we will see what Prince Alexei says.
I think you've got him.
You're telling me?
Your Highness, did you know the Tsar, personally? I mean...
Why, of course. He was my cousin. It was terrible what happened. Perhaps it was for the best. Where could he get a job now?
Pravda, that's true.
And poor relations are poor relations. It's the same with every
family. My cousin, the King of Sweden, he was very kind to us for about 10 years. Every once in a while he would send a money order and well, I should not go on. I am not doing so well myself. I do not blame him.
No, of course not. Would you just, excuse me for a minute?
Your Highness, is it true what they say about Rasputin?
Oh, everyone wants to know about Rasputin. Yes, my dear sir, it is true. And how?
You don't say.
Your Highness, we must be watching the time.
Why, of course, I must not be late. The manager does not like me. He is communist.
We'll hurry things up, Your Highness. Essie, why don't you go into the kitchen and see if you can help Reba?
Wait, I will have two. I am very good cook.
But, Your Highness, not on your day off.
But I do not mind. There is your kitchen.
All right, they're here, but you're the guest of honor, Your Highness.
But I love to cook. Come, Kulikov. If there is sour cream and hot chicks, we will make blintzes.
Oh, blintzes. Come, Bob, we must show you something.
Say, that Grand Duchess is all right, isn't she? Hey, Your Highness, can I help?
She got a great face to a mask, don't she?
She's really just a lovely woman, considering she's Grand Duchess.
Wonderful what some people go through. And still keep kind of gay, too, isn't it?
You know, she made me forget about everything for a minute.
Better call that cab.
No, wait, Paul, no, here they are. Maybe Tony has... Ed, will you go up and bring my last bag down?
Don't you do it, Ed.
Ed, please.
Don't you know you have the most stubborn daughter in all 48 states? Fine, Ed, bring it up.
Oh, that was for the cab.
If it is, it's certainly wonderful service.
Tony here, Alice.
Yes, please, come in, Mr. Kirby.
How do you do?
Good evening. Forgive my intrusion. Tony, I want you to come home with me. Your mother is very upset.
Very well, Father. Goodbye, Alice.
Goodbye, Tony.
Now, I need hardly say that this is just as painful to Mrs. Kirby as myself as it is to you people. I'm sorry, but I'm sure you understand.
Well, yes. In a way, no. I'm not the kind of person who tries to run other people's lives, Mr. Kirby. The fact is that I don't think Tony has got as much sense as you and I have.
Grandpa, will you please not
Please,
do...
Alice, I am just talking to Mr. Kirby. A cat can look at a king. And
do you want me to help you with that, Alice?
No, Mother.
We have plenty of time before the train leaves, Alice.
Will you send a cab to 761 Claremont? Right away, please. Thank you.
Alice. Are you ready, Tony?
now, Mr. Kirby, I suppose that after last night you think this family's kind of crazy, don't you?
Well, no, I would not say that. Although, I am not accustomed to going out to dinner and spending the night in jail.
You've got to remember, Mr. Kirby, you came on the wrong night. Now, I'm sure tonight nothing will happen at all.
Mr. Vanderhoff, it was not really last night. I convinced Miss Kirby and myself that this engagement will be unwise.
Father, I can handle my own affairs now, Alice, for the last time. Will you marry me?
No! Tony, I know exactly what your father means, and he's right.
No, he isn't. Alice, you are in love with this boy. And you're not going to marry him because we're the kind of people we
Grandpa,
are.
I didn't...
No, I know what you think. You think the two families wouldn't get along. Well, maybe they wouldn't. But who says that they're right?
I didn't
and
say
they're
that.
wrong?
Grandpa, I only feel...
I feel is that Tony is too nice a boy to wake up 20 years from now with nothing in his life but stocks and bonds.
Oh, that?
Yes. Mixed up and unhappy the way that you are.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Vanderhoff. I am a very happy man. Pardon? Certainly I am.
I don't think so. Where do you think you get your indigestion from? Happiness? No, sir. You get it because most of your time is spent in doing things you don't want to do.
I don't do anything I don't want to do.
Sure you do. You said last night that at the end of the week in Wall Street, you're pretty near crazy. Why do you keep on doing it, Mr. Kirby?
Why do I keep on doing it? Well, that's my business. A man can't give up his business.
Why not? You've got all the money you need, and you can't take it with you. Same kind of deals, same kind of meetings, same indigestion. Where does the fun come in, Mr. Kirby? Don't you think there ought to be something more, Mr. Kirby? You must have wanted something more than what you started out with. We haven't got too much time. Any of us.
Well, what do you expect me to do? Live like you do. Do nothing.
Oh, well, I have a lot of fun. I have time enough to do everything that I want to do. Read, talk, visit the zoo now and then, even have time to notice when spring comes around. And I don't see anybody I don't want to. And I don't have to do 6 hours of things before I get 1 hour to do what I like in. And I haven't taken bicarbonate of soda in 35 years. What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? Well, suppose we all did it. Well, a fine world we'd have, everyone going to zoos. Don't be ridiculous, Mr. Vanderhoff. Who would do all the work?
There's always people that like to work, Mr. Kirby. You can't stop them. Inventions and they fly ocean. There's always people who go down to Wall Street too, Mr. Kirby. From what I've seen of you, I do not think you're one of those people. I think you're missing something.
I'm not aware of missing anything.
I wasn't either. Until I quit. I used to lay awake nights for fear that I wouldn't get that contract. I used to wake up at 9 o'clock sharp, no matter how I felt, and marched straight down to that office. You know, I used to get all worked up about the world too, worried about whether Cleveland or Blaine would become the next president. And oh my, it seemed awful and warped at the time. Who cares now? What I'm trying to say, Mr. Kirby, is that I've had 35 years of my life that nobody can take away from me. No matter what they do to the world, see.
I do see, Mr. Vanderhoff, but it's a very dangerous philosophy. It's un-American. And it's exactly why I'm opposed to this marriage. I don't want Tony to come under its influence.
What's the matter?
What's the matter with it? It's downright communism, that's what it is.
You didn't always think so.
I most certainly did.
No, you didn't. You didn't always think so because there was a time when you wanted to be a trapeze artist.
Don't be an idiot, Tony.
Oh, yes, you did. I read those letters you wrote to grandfather all those years ago. You wanted to be a trapeze artist.
How dare you read those letters? How dare you?
Why, Mr. Kirby, that's wonderful! Did you wear ties?
Certainly not. This whole thing is absurd. I was 14 at the time.
Yes, but at 18, you wanted to be a saxophone player, didn't you?
Tony!
And at 21, you ran away because grandfather was going to push you into business. It's all down there in black and white. You didn't always think so.
Well. That's enough, Tony. We'll discuss this later.
No, I want to talk about this now. I think Mr. Vanderhoff is right, dead right. I'm not going back into that office. I've always hated it, and I'm not going on with it. And I'll tell you something else. I didn't make a mistake last night. I knew it was the wrong night. I brought you here on purpose.
Tommy!
Because I wanted you to wake up, to see a real family as they really were, a family that loved and understood each other. You never understood me. You never had the time. But I'm not going to make the same mistake you did. I'm clear now.
Clearing out? What do you mean?
I mean, I'm not going to be pushed into something just because I'm your son.
But, Tony, what are you going to do?
I don't know. Maybe I'll be a filmmaker, but at least I'll be doing something I want to do.
That must be a cat.
Tell him to wait a minute, Ed.
Grandpa.
No, please. Mr. Kirby, Tony is going through just what you and I did when we were his age. And I think if you listen hard enough, you'll hear yourself saying the same exact things to your father 25 years ago. We all did it. We were all right. How many of us would be willing to settle down for what we eventually get? All those plans we make, what happens to them? It's only a handful of the lucky ones that can actually look back and say that they even came close. So before they clean out that clothes closet, Mr. Kirby, I get in a few good hours on that saxophone.
I beg your pardon, but before I make the deliveries, how many will there be for dinner?
Your Highness, may I present Mr. Anthony Kirby and Mr. Kirby Jr.
How do you do?
How do you do?
I made quite a stack of them, Your Highness. Can't have a tell.
Good. This always said to me, Olga, do not be stingy with the balances.
Mr. Vanderhoff, who did you say that was?
Oh, that's the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina. She's cooking the dinner.
Oh.
And speaking of dinner, Mr. Kirby, why don't you and Tony both stay?
Please do. We've got all that food we were going to have last night. Well, I mean tonight.
Well, Tony, if you'd care to, I'd like to very much.
Well, Mr. Vanderhoff, if Alice would send away that cab. How about it, Alice? Why not join us for dinner?
I'm saying, Alice. The families ought to get to know each other, don't you think?
Mr. Kirby, Tony, Grandpa, you're wonderful.
Oh, I have been telling you that for years.
Grandpa, there's another letter from the government. I found it in the icebox.
The government. Oh.
Well, how do you do?
Now, Alice, if you have a seat. Well. The United States government apologizes. I don't owe them a nickel. It seems I died 8 years ago. Remember Charlie the Milkman? Buried under my name. Well, I told them they made a mistake and that I was Martin Vanderhoff Jr. So they're very sorry. And I may even get a refund.
Grandpa, you're an old crutch.
Sure.
Say, Mr. Vanderhoff, how did you say you escaped the income tax?
You are going to eat.
Well, hello there.
How do you do?
Fine,
What has happened? He's relaxing, Columbia. Let's right play something, Ed.
Everything will be ready in a minute. You may sit down. Well, come on, everybody. Dinner's ready. Come on, Essie, stop dancing and help the dinner.
All right. Quiet, everybody. Quiet. Well, sir, here we are once more. We would like to say thanks for everything that you've done for us. Everything seems to be going along fine. Alice is going to marry Tony, and it looks as though they're going to be very happy. Of course, the fireworks blew up, but that was Mr. DePinna's fault, not yours. We would like to keep our health. As far as anything else is concerned, we'll leave it to you.